Hello, guys. I am your host, Okwemiko Isaac of Unfiltered Gospel Podcast. I and my team have been doing a great work behind the scene. I want you to do some things for me. What will you do for me? Kindly subscribe, like, and share this broadcast because we can't do it alone. Without you doing all these things for us, our video cannot reach where it ought to reach. Just click on the subscribe button and make sure you are subscribing so that you will be notified whenever we post a divine content like this. Thank you. Let's talk about children. Let's talk about how children is, you know, when we check our world now, there's one adage that say charity begins at home. And when we check our words now, when we grow old, there is a big reflection of what we've been through, we are victims of how we were nurtured. And today, let's talk about the impact of balanced guidance on children. What can you say about the impact? How the importance of balanced guidance? You know, whatsoever we want to become, everything there needs to be a foundation on it. There needs to be a foundation on whatsoever we want to become, whatsoever we are going. There needs to be a foundation on it. So, what can you say about the impact of balanced guidance on children?
Okay, thank you. So when we are talking about the impact of balanced guidance on children, that's like the end result of balancing our guidance on our children, right? Yeah. Now, we already know that the children you are raising now will grow up to become an adult.
Yes.
This adult is what makes up the society.
Yeah.
So by the time you balance your guidance, like you guide your child the way you ought to guide the person, the right way, in the balanced way, you end up producing responsible adults for the society. Yeah. Our society was messed up because children were like the adults that we have now are the product of children that was raised in an improper manner. So when you do your job now, you are already erasing the problem that has not even like been created already. It's like there is a future problem, and by balancing your guidance on your children now, you're already erasing that problem. You are not like creating problem in the future for people who will still meet that child by the time that child finally becomes an adult.
Sorry, there is one thing I'm a kind of person that I pay attention to details in the sense of children. When it comes to terms of children, I'm a kind of person that I quickly notice what is wrong and what is right. When a children is doing well, like we quickly know that okay, this thing is, But there is one thing I actually want to ask you is that do you believe that there are some common mistakes?
Of course, yes.
There are some common mistakes in parenting.
Of course,
and
yes.
that has really reshaped the end results as an adult. So what are the common mistakes that has really reshaped? I mean, common mistakes in parenting. That's what I mean.
We have many mistakes in parenting, but let's just highlight some points that are like very, very common. Number one, we have been overprotective. Okay. You don't need to be overprotective of a child, right? Now, when you hold an egg, you want to protect the egg. You don't want the egg to fall. But then by the time you squeeze your hand too much on the egg, in the process of protecting the egg, you end up doing what? You end up breaking the egg. Your children are your egg placed in your hand. By the time you protect them too much, I mean, it's your duty to protect them, right? But by the time you squeeze your hand too much on them, you end up like breaking them. You don't make them into, they won't think properly. Their thinking faculty will be solo, because that is how we end up having people that are in marriage, but they can't still think for themselves.
This overprotective that you just mentioned now, I think it's the real, it's the perfect example of a child that can't still cook, even at age 25, 26. Even she has gotten married already, but she can't even cook a meal for her husband.
Actually, when it comes to that is based off, some cases are based off overprotecting, but some cases are not based off overprotecting. Let me use myself as an example. Okay. Before I can make good news, I think I've gained admission as at then. It's not like my mother is a very, very strict disciplinarian. Like, she's very, very, very strict. But then the way she raised me, I can remember one day she asked me to cook something. I think she asked me to cook soup. And then because I've not like been putting my mind there, I've not like been watching and everything, I ended up pouring the pepper inside the pot first instead of putting the palm oil with the way she usually do her own cooking. Do you understand? Now I ended up growing that way, not knowing how to cook till like age 17, age 18, not because my mother was overprotective, but because it doesn't catch my interest. You understand? And my mother, like, I'm not saying she didn't go the right way about it. It happens, yes. That kind of situation that you mentioned happens, but every time it's not based off overprotecting.
Why about those people that maybe there's a particular parent that they've been praying to God for a child, and the now says that I think maybe even God gave them one child, and after that they couldn't even see a child again, and I think overprotective is going to comes in at that point.
Yes, obviously it should. I mean, I've been praying for something and then finally I got it. I would definitely overprotect it as human. Like in the case of Anna now, she looked for a child very well. Like she was even abused, she was mugged, a lot of things was done to her before she could finally get Samuel. Do you understand? Now Anna will have been the perfect mother to overprotect her child. But then I think age 1 she had to like take Samuel to the temple to go and work for God. You understand? But the fact that you look for something before you could get it does not, the fact that okay you were praying for a land before you could buy the land, does that mean you want to build 13-story building on the land? No, you can actually, but then if that land is not as strong as it's supposed to be, you will end up destroying what you have built on the land. Overprotecting cannot be excused. Whether you use 30 years to look for the child does not excuse overprotecting. It's a bad thing that will later have adverse effects on the child, whether you like it or not. So that is part of it, right? That one, overprotecting. And also we have been comparative parenting. When you compare your child, oh, can't you be like this child? Can't you see the way this child always come first in their class? Can't you see the way this child is neat? And by the time you end up doing all of that, you are not raising your child again. You are raising a child. You are raising a child that is you are raising another person's child in your child.
I think many of us are victims of this.
Yes, because when you are comparing your child, and let me tell you one thing about comparing children to each other, you end up breeding children, number one, with low self-esteem, because automatically that child will think he or she is inferior to the person you are comparing them to. That's number one. Number two, you end up breeding a child that has jealousy. Because I mean, you are constantly comparing me to this person, making me feel as if this person is better than me. It will get to a point. Do you know children have jealousy too? It's not only mature adults that have jealousy. You end up like this child can end up like, I've seen case of a child wherein due to constant comparing, the other one, they are actually two female, two girls. The other one end up taking the school uniform of her elder sister and putting it in what's it called, mud on a Monday morning, just because I mean she doesn't want the other one to like go to school. You understand? So when you compare children, you end up breeding low self-esteem children. You end up breeding children that are full of hatred and jealousy. And also another form of mistake that I think is common in parenting that we don't even note is the fact that as a parent, make sure you care for yourself first before you care for your child. Because even when you yourself, you are sick, you are not really okay, how then can you now raise a child that is okay? You don't take care of yourself, you don't dress properly, you don't even yourself, you don't use self-esteem, your aura is not that great, it's not that good. How then do you want to raise a child that has high self-esteem? How then do you want to raise a child that does not feel jealous? You must be able to like take care of yourself. Don't neglect yourself in the course of parenting. Especially this happens especially when it comes to new mothers. This is their first time that they are raising the child and they want the child to look all good and all. Don't neglect self-care when it comes to parenting. You should take care of yourself first and then your child follows. You understand? So that one too is actually part of it. And then I think another common mistake is that how do I put this? Screen time. Screen time. Is screen time bad? Is it bad? What do you think about that? Do you think it's bad?
Screen time is not bad, but when it is too much,
exactly, that's the problem. Now, raising your child, the particular research says when you like have a baby, even when they are 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you don't, when they are saying ba 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 ba, you also don't respond to them with ba ba ba. Say meaningful words to them. Talk to them like, oh, this is an umbrella, oh, don't go there. You don't have to say, you don't have to do that to raise a child, because in the course of doing that, you're actually building intellect of that child. Do you understand? Now, are we saying screen time is bad or good? No, screen time is actually good, but in a conservative manner. And when we are saying screen time is good, it's not like you just give your phone to your child, allow them to go to YouTube, watch anything that they want to. No,
have a playlist.
That is not the way you do it. There are some particular channels that are educative. You understand? They are educative. They even impact your child even when you're not there. They are impacting your child for you. Do you understand? So you just have to like caution what they watch, not totally limit them away from the word. Because even me as a person, I can tell you that most of the things I know them from like watching TVs, like going online, learning and all. So let's now assume that my parents had limited or had shut me away totally from those things. So it have been a disaster. Thank you.
All right, that's very powerful. That's very powerful. All right, what do you think about what do you think about misconception in raising children? Sorry. What do you think about misconception in raising children? There is some idea that I think when you want to raise a child, you need everything about you to be wide open. When I say everything about you to be wide open, in the sense that everything about you to be wide open, that when your mind needs to be open. When raising a child, you need to pay more attention to details. In the sense that I think sometimes as a father or as a parent, we don't pay more attention to details about raising our child. So that is how they later become what they ought not to become. It just becomes anything they want. Meanwhile, we don't pay much attention to details. A lot of people they have forced their children to become a doctor. Meanwhile, this child can actually read this course. You understand? So what do you understand about misconception in raising child?
Okay. When we are talking about misconceptions in raising children, like I said earlier on, there are several misconceptions in raising children, right? Now, first off, the first misconception or the first mindset I would love parents to take away from their mind is that as a parent, you have to be perfect. You are not born perfect. See, you will die, you will never become perfect. It is only God that is perfect.
That's the reason why a child is just brilliant normally, and they said you have to go to science class. So
now you are not perfect. You understand? First off, when you make mistakes, you are allowed to make mistakes. Now you've been raising this child. You've raised this child to age 5. This child has made mistake. You have made mistake in raising this child to age 5, and then you learn and unlearn some things. Don't now start having guilty conscience as if you've destroyed the life of your child. Right. You are allowed to start over again. That's number 1. Number 2, another misconception when it comes to raising children is Yoruba will say ọ̀rọ̀ mi ni ẹ gbọ́, ẹ má wò ṣe mi. Now you are smoking, you send your child to go and buy you a pack of cigarettes, right? And then you catch the child taking the stick of the cigarette, probably the one you smoked and it did not finish, putting it in his or her mouth, and then you are beating the child. Why? It is what you modeled to the child that the child. Let me tell you, one thing about children is the fact that they do more of what they see than more of what you tell them. If you take a child to the church and they are shouting hallelujah, 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 you don't need to sit the child down and tell the child say hallelujah. right? Before the child is going to say hallelujah. We've seen cases of children calling their father by their first name. Why? Because the mother was calling the father by the first name. There's no offense in that. I'm just citing that as an example. So those are some misconceptions when it comes to parenting. You don't tell a child what to do. You will tell a child what to do, right? But in some cases it doesn't work that way. You model to that child, right, what that child is supposed to do. Whenever you and your neighbor you are fighting, you are always cursing, always raising your voice, always being aggressive, and then they tell you that the child went to school to go and fight, and then you are beating the child when the child get home. As how? So as what you modeled, that that child is like a mirror of you. Whatever you see, there are some children that are naturally like stubborn, strong-willed. Let me not say stubborn, strong-willed, right? But then in most cases, it is what they've seen you do before that they are also doing again. So those are some misconceptions about children, about parenting, I mean.
So what do you think about the responsible parenting practices?
See, first of, as a Christian, I would say number one, prayer. Prayer is very important when it comes to raising children. So don't joke with praying for your children. And when I say praying for your children, it doesn't really have to be, you don't have to like go to that level before you pray to your children. A simple declaration over them in the morning. Oh, you're brilliant. Oh, you are wise. Like declaring positive words over your children is a form of prayer. Pray for your children. Now, naturally, as I said earlier on, we have some children that are strong-willed, and up to age 18, that is how they are still behaving. Up to age 10, that is how they are still behaving. Now, like you already know that cautioning that kind of child is somehow now above you. It's not really every time above you. But now somehow you've done everything you can do as a responsible parent, and it's not still yielding any result. Do you understand? Now you have to go to the place of what? Prayer. The place of prayer. That's number one when it comes to responsible parenting. And another one is modeling good behavior to your child. Whatever it is that you want your child to do, you also what? Do it. You don't want to raise a child that is a liar. Then when somebody comes to ask of you, don't tell that child to go and tell the person that you are not at home. Because you are already telling that child that it is normal to lie. You are telling that child that it is normal when situation warrants it. You can lie. So don't get angry another time when the child maybe pours something away and the child lies to you, because you have made them see lying as an escape route.
Wow.
Do you understand? That's another thing. And another one when it comes to responsible parenting is never ever compare your child. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go about comparing your child. Your child is your child. The other person's child is the other person's child. And now let me even tell you something. You know, although I will not say there is a particular research, but the way firstborn behave is the way lastborn is not the way lastborn behave. Do you understand that? Do you know that's the fact? Now, firstborns are naturally born leaders. Not in all cases though, but in most cases, firstborns are naturally born, or should I say, we are actually forced to be leaders. When our younger brothers or younger sisters do something that is wrong, we are the one that end up getting scolded. Like, why they do it? Were you not there when your younger brother was doing this? Were you not there when your younger sister was doing this? Do you understand? Meanwhile, lastborns, they are actually like removed from this kind of setting. So don't expect your firstborn to react the way your lastborn. Am I saying don't discipline your lastborn? No. Am I saying you raise your lastborn to be an uncultured child? No. But obviously the way you, like, you know, our parents, let's use us as an example. The way our parents raised us, right? It's not the way they raise our grandchildren. They will somehow become soft, right? So that also applies in the case of firstborn and lastborn. Now, don't when I'm saying you don't compare your child, because when you compare a child, what you end up doing is telling the child, disappear, I don't want to see you. Let another personality or let someone else be there. That is the person I want to see, not you. And you end up,
it won't be real.
You end up like shutting down the emotions of this of this child. And another thing is, when it comes to responsible parenting, is know the difference between discipline and fear. There is a very thin line between discipline and between fear. Okay, another part of being a responsible parent is what I have said before. Never you compare your child. Your child is your child, not another person's child. Your first daughter is not your second daughter. Your last son is not your third son. Don't compare them. You don't have to, like, is it good to, like, show examples? Yeah, but not the way you talk it or the way you go about it. Also matters. Don't tell your child, because when you constantly compare a child every time, and can't you do the way this person is doing, you end up telling that child, disappear. I don't like you. I don't like your personality. I don't like the way you're behaving. I don't like who you've grown up to be. Just disappear and let someone else take over your body.
They won't be real.
They won't be real with you. And you end up raising children that are emotionally shut down. You end up raising children that, and when you raise children that are emotionally shut down, then there is no way, because I'm still going to the point that you have to raise emotionally intelligent children. That's a sign of a responsible parent. Now, when you already raise your child, they are emotionally shut down. How then can they be emotionally intelligent? Now, what is there's a difference between being intelligent and being emotionally intelligent. Now, intelligence is normally when you're brilliant. You go to school, you come first every time. That's being intelligent. Or this person is naturally sharp. That's being intelligent. But emotional intelligence is how you deal with life, the way you reason, the way you think. When situations arrive, the way you handle it. Let me say, intelligence is the key to school. Emotional intelligence is the key to life. Now, when you have emotional intelligence, it is that will direct the way you relate to people. Now, let's assume you raised a child. You've started comparing the child. You've already destroyed the self-esteem of that child. How then can that kind of child be emotionally intelligent? How do you want to raise that kind of child? Because one thing is, you've already told the child you are not good.
And it will lower their self-esteem.
Exactly. You will lower their self-esteem. You already tell. So even if that kind of child, if they grow up with that kind of trauma, and they find themselves in a work area, right? They will always see themselves below their fellow employees. Right? That's number one.
Yeah.
And then number two, they wouldn't. It's no kind of children that will have big thinking. Like, they know they have a great solution, but to just stand up in the midst of crowd and say their opinion is what is not part of their lifestyle. Now, apart from this, as a responsible parent, you must be careful with the way you discipline your child. Am I saying don't discipline your child? No, that's not what I'm saying. There's this proverb in Yoruba. Let me say it in Yoruba that said, "Aya ọmọdé ni wèrè dì passion tere la ma fi le jade." Right? Have you heard of that before?
Yes.
Now, that has actually been, like, should I say, a house that has been shielding most parents to beat the hell out of their children, wherein that Bible quotation was actually misquoted, or should I say misinterpreted. It says passion itoni is not passion tere, like your cane that you used to beat the hell out of your children. It says passion itoni la fi shekini la fi le iwa rere yen kúrò ní ààrẹ. That means your child, normally as they are growing up now, especially when they become teenagers, don't go ahead and be teenagers, especially when they become teenagers, they want to have their own decision. I mean, it's not even them working, it's their hormones working. They are growing up. Adolescence is taking over. They will naturally, when you tell them don't go out, they want to know the reason why you tell them not to go out, right? And it's not like they are rebellious. This is their hormone.
I think parenting gets more tougher when the children has that fixed mindset that you can't do anything than just to beat me.
That is one of the problems. You see, at that point, you are not raising a child again. You are raising a goat.
Yes, you are raising a goat.
You are raising a goat, because a goat will come. You beat the goat, go away, still come back. Even when you are looking, they will still what? They will still come back. Now, let me tell you something. Immediately you raise a child that only fears your presence, you are afraid as a parent. When you tell your child, "Oh, don't play this ball," well, immediately you leave. They'll play. it is only your presence that can caution that. Or maybe you talk when you are talking, your child dare not eases at you, but when you leave, another elderly person, they can ease at the person. Now you have successfully incubated you have successfully transferred your fear, build up your fear in this child heart. It is not your words that child is following again. It's just your presence. That means when you are not there, that child will do and undo. Do you understand what I am saying? You don't have to let a child know that every solution to their mistake is beating. Okay, what are you now going to do if you are in a country where beating is not allowed? What will happen?
I think many African parents cannot succeed outside the country.
Yes, they can't. Is because if you can't train a child without you, there are other ways to discipline a child. For example, now maybe a child is always forgetful, and then that kind of child forgets their lunch bag at home while being playful. Me as a if by the time I finally become a parent, I'm saying from my own angle what I would do. If I have been like reminding you before that day, when it's like a child that is already mature or something, I'm not talking about young children or not age 5, age 6. I can never allow that kind of child to like go on an hunger strike, right? But you're an adolescent, you have matured, you're a teenager, and you are so forgetful. And your forgetful is not out of your brain not working very well. It's out of you like being over playful or something. I will allow you go on an hunger strike for a day. When you go to school and you come back home hungry, I promise you the next day you will not forget. You will not be too playful. There are other ways you can or a child, you tell this child, clean up this room, do this. The child refuses to what? Do it. Then seize their toys. Oh, wash this plate. The child end up not washing the plates. Make sure the child does maybe a house chore. Maybe they are two and they are like exchanging. I wash today, the other person washes tomorrow, and then you tell one to go and do it. The person refuses to do it. Let that child wash for the whole week. They will not want to repeat that same thing again. There are other ways where you can imbibe discipline in a child apart from beating. You're not raising a goat. If let's assume now that you are an online tutor, you are in Nigeria here, but you are raising a child in Germany. Not raising a child, you are educating a child in Germany. Maybe you are teaching a child a particular subject in Germany, and you are only like talking through laptops online. Yeah. And the child is not getting what the child wants to get. Like the child is not understanding what you are explaining. Will you beat from online?
No.
Will you not still impact that knowledge? If you can't train a child, or if you can't raise a child without beating, without the presence of a cane, it's only the presence of cane, then you are failed as a parent, because if you get to a point you'll not be able to beat that child again. What will now happen at that kind of point?
What real hidden facts can you tell us about raising a child? Hidden facts. Facts.
Should I say it is hidden? I will not really say it is hidden, but I will say it is a fact. It's the fact that parents should learn how to say sorry.
Wow.
You're not. I saw a video this morning while I was scrolling through TikTok. The woman should be around 68, 70, if I am correct. I'm just citing this as an example. And then I think maybe children came to play in her house. Her phone got missing. The child is a boy around 10-year-old. I'm just like assuming. And then the woman accused the 10-year-old of stealing her phone, because according to her, it was the boy that was present at the time that her phone went missing. Do you understand? Later on, it was discovered, old people. So it's discovered that it is actually the woman herself that misplaced her phone. It was not where she thought that she placed it. That she actually did what? She placed it. And when she finally found it, can you actually believe the fact that this young woman was not old woman, was going on her knees, and when people were cautioning that you cannot kneel down for a child, no, you're not supposed to be doing that, the woman in Yoruba said, "Orúkọ ni mò ń bẹ̀, ẹlẹ́dàá ẹ̀ ni mò ń bẹ̀," because she actually knew that what she did was very, very, very young. So as you might think, it's not supposed to happen in African land. I think with what you said now, I think if
this kind of attitude can reign in this our Africa. I think in parenting courses, if we can say sorry to our children, because so many times we don't calm down enough to listen to them. Because at the end of the day, if we really diligently listen to them, we will notice that they are not even at fault. So I think that kind of attitude needs to reign in Africa, by saying sorry to not everything, but sometimes. And if we can emulate that kind of attitude, we will be able. They will be able to relate well with us. And even sometimes when they are going through a lot of things, they will be able to relate to us, because they know that they have a shoulder they can rest on.
Exactly. So when your child, on that, what you just said, when your child is opening up to you, especially a teenager, your child is not opening up to you to be judged. That is why most teenagers, when girl teens, when they are raped, they can't get home to tell their parents that they are raped, because the mother will end up telling them, why do you move in this kind of direction? And I don't know since when we start blaming rape victims for being raped. This is an accident. This is something I did not plan. Do you understand? Now, even when you are being judgmental with your children, there is an hormone that is being released when you shout at a child, when you are judging a child. There is an hormone always being released called cortisol, and this cortisol is responsible for stress, even in adults. So for every single time you are raising your voice at that child, for every single time you are judging that child, for every single time that child is right and you make them feel as if they are wrong, you are raising their cortisol level, and you end up raising stressed children. A stressed child cannot function well in school, will not even function well in your home, will not function well in church, because they are what? They are stressed. This kind of children, this that you have raised their stress, hormonal stress level, you have actually pumped them to a level wherein they are not supposed to like function at. They end up becoming agitated. It's this kind of children that when you just want to like touch them, like say hello to them or hug them, they flinch. Do you understand? Imagine you just want to touch your child and then the child ends up flinching. You just want to correct a child and the child is already trembling. That is not parenting. That's lordship. You are lording that child. Now, there is a difference between authoritative parenting and being an authoritarian. I think I should just use that one to round it up. There are 4 types of parenting. We have authoritative parenting, we have authoritarian parenting, we have permissive parenting, and then we have neglectful parenting. Now, I'll start from the last, which is neglectful parenting. And this is based on research. Neglectful parenting is when you are not present at all. You are not present in your child. Those are the kind of parents that they wake up in the morning, before the child wakes up, they are gone 2-3 weeks, they are gone. Their parents are not even like, they don't have any relationship level with their children. They are not connected to the children. It is only the nanny that is always at home with the child, and it's this kind of children that their uncle will end up touching their private parts and they cannot even tell you why, because you are not always at home. That's neglectful parenting. That's one part of parenting. And then we have permissive parenting. That is when everything that your child wants, that's part of being overprotective. Everything that your child wants, they get. The child wants biscuits, they get. They want to play ball even when they've not done their assignment, they get. Why? Maybe because of what you cited earlier. Oh, Motiji, I got into I suffered before I could get this one, so nobody should touch this one for me. Do you understand? That's part of it. Some they are just naturally like that. It's not like maybe they even labor before they could get that child. They are just a permissive parent. You allow the child, and obviously a child that you raised to always get what they want, by the time they leave your roof, they leave your side, they would always want to get what they want outside. Do you understand? They would always want to get what and that means if you raise the boy child that you don't know how to say no to, and then that kind of boy child grow up to become an adult, and then they end up winning a lady out there, and the lady says no, it is those kind of children that will end up going to rape the lady because they don't know how to accept no. No is not an answer in their dictionary. And then we have authoritarian parenting. That one is, it is what I want that you will do. You are imbibing fear. Your own discipline is not more than oh, you must not do this, oh, you must not do that. By the time your children see you coming from work, they run inside the house.
And that thing is transgenerational.
And this is what this is how we end up raising narcissistic people. Your child runs in. What happened? Are you a masquerade? Why did your child have to run inside at the sight of you? What happened? What was that supposed to bring? What were you expecting? What was the end result you are expecting? That's authoritarian parenting. When your word is the command, nobody dares check you. And then we have authoritative parenting, which I always advise and I want to grow up to be. Authoritative parenting is you issue a command to your child, right? And you know that you are not playing, you are not moving away from this command that you have issued. You are not moving away from it. You are not allowing your child, don't steal is don't steal. But you are not just, should I say, being authoritative is being warm with your discipline. Oh, mommy, I want to play ball. No, you cannot play ball yet. Why? Because you've not done your assignment. Not, I told you cannot play ball. You are authoritative, right? You know what you want. Your child will not depart from that line, but not by imbibing fear. Not by, and that's the kind of, you have to be present. Now we have permissive, we have neglectful, we have authoritative, we have authoritarian. It is left for you to determine the kind of parenting or the kind of parent you want to what you want to become.
But the best is authoritative.
Yeah, is authoritative. Your child is your, I cannot say, should I say your partner, but you are a team. You people you are a family. When one is successful, other will be happy, right?
Yeah.
Your child is not your competition. So why should your child be afraid of you? Why should your child have to cower at the sight of you?
I think this kind of people, we eventually end up forming a family like that. Because that's what they are used to. Because
that, exactly.
So because they are stuck to that mindset.
Now, when we were growing up, we were taught that they always have to beat us. I was beaten. You were beaten. Almost everybody was beaten. Right? Now, does that mean, and you know, that's our own time that we were getting beaten. There were some children that was being raised at that moment too that was not beaten.
Yeah.
Does that mean you are better than that person now? I'm not talking about financial level.
Yes.
Does that mean you are a better woman being than that person that was not beaten?
Yeah.
Now you the way you were raised, we tell whether you like it or not. It is after you learn and unlearn that you will change. But the way you were raised, we somehow want to reflect, because you're not seeing as something that is bad, arguing in front of your child. Later on, if your child start arguing, the child will not, when the child grows up to have a partner, they will not see it as anything to like argue with their partner in front of their children too, because that was what they grow up seeing. It takes a level of learning and unlearning to do what? To change. So whatever it is, the way you raise your child, just know that you are impacting for generations to come. Because the way you raise that child is the same way that child is going to raise their own child. And then they raise their own child.
Video. One girl said, why can't I help my man? I have witnessed it so many times that my mom helped my dad so many times. Sometimes his business was down, then my mom will just send, that such thing. I think whatsoever we do, whatsoever we see as when we were small, we will always look up to do such thing.
Of course, yes.
We always look up to do it.
Of course,
either
yes.
good or bad.
Or bad,
we
yes.
always look up to do
exactly.
something.
Of course, yes.
That's everything about.
That's everything. Parenting is a big job.
I think it's a personal cause. It's a special cause.
Yes, obviously. It's a special
cause.
cause. You just have to like learn.
Yeah.
You are allowed to make mistakes. It's not a particular destination. You are not going to a particular destination. Learn, unlearn, and just apply what you've learned.
So we've really learned a lot of things today, and I'm very sure the audience will have learned a lot of things too. I think parenting is a special cause on its own, and it's a plus for the kingdom.
Yeah, it's not a plus for the kingdom. It's actually like the basis of kingdom. Do you understand? Because it's raising a child stems from family. Family goes to society. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And the part of society is your church. So parenting is, you cannot look at Eli. That was where Eli failed.
Yes,
that
I think
was
when
how
you get it right in parenting, you get it right in ministry.
Yes. If you cannot control your home, how then can you control the church?
Crowd, yeah.
Do you understand?
That's just a family tree of just maybe two. Father, mother, and maybe 3 children. And how can you? You can't control that. Then how can you control?
That means it's only your word we will see at the church. You will not see it in action. So that is just part of it.
Exactly. Many ministers of God, many ministers' wives are victims of this.
Yes.